How you doing, John?
Doing pretty good, Linnea. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Beautiful day today. So got some creative juices out with me and my buddy. We did some self-portraits and yeah.
Love that. Love that.
All right. You want
Today's theme is creativity slash, I feel like we were also getting into inspiration based on our earlier
Yeah,
exchange. Is that kind of the vibe?
I'm down for that. That sounds good
Right
for me.
on.
Cool.
Sounds good. So,
So
I'm going to introduce my friend John, the
okay.
internet's favorite childless father figure.
Oh, it hurts so much more. When you say it like that, it sounds sad. I'm just your yadded up tattooed Ned Flanders. Heidely ho, neighborino.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Right on. We made some art today all about creativity.
Yeah. We did a little bit of creativity and what inspires us for to be creative. So
John, do you want to talk about your creative spark, your where your
so
creativity comes from?
yeah, so I went with three photos of things that basically inspire me. One is a photo of my of it sounds bad and super cocky. So the first one I guess would be um yeah, maybe we could probably cut or edit this at this point, sorry.
Or just
Emily.
keep it in.
Okay, or keep it in, Emily, whatever you want to do. So my first one is me and my buddy Brent, and
Oh,
what
this one. Okay. That's the
yeah,
first one. I didn't know what the
perfect.
first one was. You're like the first one.
The first one, yeah, I had to take a
Yeah.
look at them. So the first one is me and my friend Brent, and he was the first guy that I'd seen really have any sort of creative talent and do something with it. And I remember we were hanging out, and one day like a box showed up in his room, and it was this box. It was a tattoo gun, and
Okay.
yeah, it was back where I lived in the shacks in the
What year
army.
was this for
Oh
context?
my goodness, 2011, probably 2012.
Okay.
And
You
so
were
he
like
had it.
21 at the time?
Yeah,
22
yeah,
maybe? Yeah.
21, yeah,
Math.
21, 22, and that was some fast, quick math. Yeah, like 22. I was about 22 at the time, and he started giving guys tattoos, and I watched him tattoo a British flag on one of our friends who's British, and I walked out of the room. I was like, I'm not getting any tattoos from you, my man. So he did a lot of free tattoos in the beginning and got really good. And he's a great amateur self-taught tattoo artist.
Cool.
My second picture that I have here is me popping a wheelie after
In a
surgery.
wheelchair.
Yeah,
Yeah. When
yeah,
was
yeah.
this picture taken?
That was taken after I got back from West Africa. I finally got a surgery after about a year of waiting.
Yes, but
And
like when?
when
I
so
don't know when that is.
that's true. I'm glad you got me on track. So I think the time frame for that would have been about 2 or 3 years ago when I started up my t-shirt company.
Okay. It's a very summery picture too.
It was a summer vibe.
Yeah.
Uh, it's so that picture right there is basically me popping a wheelie and take doing like a photo shoot with me and some of my buddies and making some t-shirts for a few friends of ours.
Is your logo on this shirt
It is
or is
not my
this?
logo.
Okay,
It
cool.
was it was just a logo that they wanted printed up, so we did
Because
that for
it
them.
kind of looks like your logo
Uh,
too.
is it at
A
the
little
front?
bit?
Yes, at the front. The front is my logo.
Okay.
That was the
You lied then.
one time
Thanks.
edition. You caught me in a lie. Yes. So that was my one time edition. We just put that at the front, and I just didn't love it. So then we were like, we could put other things there,
Okay.
and yeah, we never did that again. But the back is the stuff that we did for them.
Okay. Not seen in the photo for
Not
those who
seen
are
in this
trying to
photo.
picture the photo.
Maybe we can
Oh,
add
but
another
in other
picture.
photos that you have shared, there is, okay, I see it now. The pirate has emerged.
Yes, we can throw that guy up
Oh,
there.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll include that too. Cool. So
So
different shirts, different colors. Love it.
yeah, my friend Kyle, he was the artist, and I hadn't really started drawing then, but I knew I wanted to start making things.
Okay.
Like I just was like, I want to start doing things, but like I was too nervous and shy, and I was like, I don't possibly have the time for this. And I'm like, I've had two surgeries now. I have time to start teaching myself how to do that. And
Yeah.
then
You made
my
time.
yeah, and then the third one, the third picture is a picture of me and my sister,
Yeah.
and she came down and took care of me after my surgery, and
Where is this? This looks
that
like some sort of museum.
that is a museum. Yeah, that was me and my sister in a Newfoundland war museum with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still using a cane. I'm in between surgeries there, and she came down to take care of me, and she's the inspiration of the person that got me into it. So
Yeah, she was the first sketchbook purchaser, correct?
yeah, yeah, she was the real push.
Right
So
on.
yeah,
Thanks,
that
Zoe.
yeah, go Zoe.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
on.
So
Does Zoe do art? Is she an artist?
she does pottery.
Oh, cool. I did
Yeah,
not know this about her.
yeah, she's a pothead.
A potist?
The pottist. Well, the pot it's like a pottery artist from Boston, a pottist, pottery artist. So yeah,
Make wicked pots.
she makes some wicked pots. She made an awesome tea kettle. It was really the tea kettle is I'm like
A
that's
kettle
such
or a
a
pot?
she made a I think it's a pot. Probably it's a
Okay.
pot. Yeah.
Like a kettle would go on the oven, right? Or the
Would it set
stove.
on fire?
I don't know.
I've
I'm
never
not a
used a
potist.
I'm no potist. Zoe, add in. Sign off in the comments about if
Yeah.
you're a potist or not.
Right on.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Sweet.
So,
Great collection
what
of
did you end up
pictures.
doing?
Oh, I sent you a picture, but I will also show it to you here
It's
because you
beautiful.
can
I
see
like it.
it. It's big.
Whoa.
I realized I initially oh, and I didn't even go over the art directives. We didn't do the art directives. Should I do that now before I talk about my art? Let's do that.
Heck
Sorry,
yeah. Let's go
everyone.
back. Let's get into
Here.
it.
Yeah. So three art invitations. First one is creative landscape. Paint or draw a landscape that represents your inner world of creativity. Is it a jungle, a desert, a secret third thing? I think mine is a secret fourth thing, spoiler alert, but we'll get into that in a minute. You can do creative source, so create a visual that represents where your creative force might come from. And then the third one we have is intuitive drawing. So make something without a plan, focus on movement, shapes, feeling, and less so about outcome. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think that this art that I made is all three,
Yeah.
which I tend to do because I'm not really good at making just one decision. I
No,
think of
it's
this
beautiful.
it's abstract. So for those who can't see, I'll try to do my best to use the words. What I did is I mixed glue, like liquid glue, PVA glue, for the Art Attack fans out there, and black paint. And I just kind of swirled it around to make this weird, almost inky looking thing, very messy. It wasn't planned. It was just I just went with it, and it's textured. Like you can see you can't necessarily see it, but you can feel that the black parts are slightly raised because the PVA glue gave it some additional texture. And then what I've gone ahead and done is used a few different medium to color in certain parts of the landscape. Because I am a mixed media artist, even though I do call myself a collage artist because I mostly do collage, I very much am a mixed media artist. So I try to include there's watercolor, there's pencil crayons. I think there's acrylic paint. There's oil pastels. And it's also not done because I'm so good at not finishing art. So it's bit my creative landscape. It's a bit my creative source because often my creativity comes from mess and chaos and me not being able to understand myself from the get-go. Like I
Yeah.
find I need to make art about things in order to understand how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like the
I
feeling comes first and then the words come after.
I
That
really
makes
like it.
sense.
Can you just hold it up a second again?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. From one person who likes to draw to another, I uh I like it. I think
Yeah.
you're done. I don't know. Like I think less is more with this one. Like the open
Okay.
spaces and the amount of colors that you've used, I think it let like the white actually lets the colors pop out like quite well. And like the
Okay.
black itself, like to me, honestly, just looks like that's just such a big part of it because it's so interconnected, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, if you want
I
to keep
might
going,
not,
you keep going.
yeah.
But if you just leave it like that, that's good enough for me.
Cool. That reminds me of my favorite line from was it our last episode? Or maybe it was like our second episode. I'm already losing track of
That's
like,
cool.
whatever you've done today was enough.
Yeah, whatever you've
I've
done today was
held on
definitely
to
enough.
that one. And it's
Heck yeah.
also an intuitive drawing because I didn't know what it was going to look like. And I love doing that because if I be like, I'm going to paint an apple and it's going to be an apple, I will think way too much about what an apple looks like and I'll get too much in my head of like, oh, is that the right red? Like I'll overthink it and I'll kind
Yeah.
of lose the joy of the art. So in working on something that's more intuitive, less technical, I find I get more joy out of art making.
No, I get what you feel. Like you're too much pressure to make a perfect apple. Forget
Yeah.
that. Apple's got ridges, bumps, and all kinds of stuff to them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just yeah, you can really do a lot with that. So I like that you just went with your feeling,
Yeah. It's hard
you
not
know?
to sometimes.
I know. But yeah, so what type of music were you listening to when you're doing your medium?
Oh, it's whatever song. I don't know. It's
For this one. For
For
this one.
this one, I don't think I was listening to music. I was, or maybe I was. Also, full disclosure, I'm so bad at getting homework done. So part of this was done like a while ago. And then I'm like, oh, what's going to work for today's recording? Or I thought of this a few days ago, but like, so it's kind of like, oh, this will work because this kind of is on theme. So I don't remember really making the first part or like if I was listening to music.
Yeah.
But I do listen to music pretty much all the time.
Oh, I think it's such an important way like it helps you go with the flow. I like listen to a lot of like a lot of different types of so I'm like I listen to music. I like synthwave or
Yeah, that's
square
very
wave.
you. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been
yeah.
part of your aesthetic since I've known you.
It
Yeah.
works. I
The
love it.
waves. Yeah.
It cause it's like elevator music with taste.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. Or like the theme, the like just the background music before something cool is about to happen, or something
Oh.
cinematic for me, like a good drive. Like when I was driving in Jordan, I did tons of GoPro videos of just
Oh, cool.
so it was a wild landscape that I really want to get back to drawing to. Like I don't do much landscape stuff, but I'm like that I have to get down and download it onto a computer, and then from there I'm definitely going to take some of the beautiful landscapes I saw out there because it's just so vastly different. I was in Petra, sorry, or Wadi Rum in Petra, and it's like Mars. It's real red
It
sand.
looks kind of mar martially, yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Mars descent. I
It
don't know.
does. Yeah.
Words.
It's just everything with a red filter.
Ooh.
That's just basically which your painting and picture that you sent me reminded me because of that red light
Yeah.
in the photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Cool.
I yeah, I think that it's yeah, it's definitely gonna I don't know why I said I'm gonna, but it's
It's gonna happen, this
yeah,
landscape drawing. I'm excited because 99% of the art I've seen you do is
people.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. People are just so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to see where you go with that.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to this theme of creativity of like where do we get inspiration? Sometimes just seeing something beautiful
Yeah.
is inspiring. And I also, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to say it as if it is true. But
Yeah.
being an artist and like working on that artistic eye, you end up seeing beauty more often, I think. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I think that yeah, like you start looking for things in different avenues. Something that I noticed about people once I started drawing was ears, noses, and wrinkles in eyes.
Yeah,
You know,
details.
yeah, you just start, you're like, oh, that guy's got an interesting set of ears, or like just a real set of like wrinkles in their forehead, and you're like, how would I put that into like through pen to paper? So you start looking at people
Yeah.
to dear listener, don't look at people too much or as much as I do. Yeah, but yeah, you just get really kind of fascinated by things that before was a mundane. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's just a guy. But now I feel like I'd be good at like an eyewitness. I'd be like, oh yeah, that dude, wonky ears and a crinkly ass forehead.
Now draw that. Draw
Yeah,
the
oh,
wonk. Draw
I
the
could
crinkle.
the wonk is the best. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want Leonardo DiCaprio's face. You want just somebody who's at your grocery store's face.
Yeah, the character.
Yeah,
I hear
that
that.
yeah, that's an untold story.
Yeah. So
So
it sounds like interesting people faces are a big source of inspiration. I also know from chatting with you that you will sit in public and draw people, which I think is so courageous.
thank you.
Um,
I've yet to show anybody. I've yet to do that. I feel like that's a little strange to
yeah.
do, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, yeah, that's it's sort of a live, it's a more interactive way. Like I can really be in my own zone. Coffee shops are kind of my jam.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like,
What I loved about traveling and like bringing a sketchbook, and I did a lot of solo traveling slash do a lot of solo traveling, that you could just post up somewhere and draw, and people would be curious and like ask like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And
yes,
it's a way to connect with people.
I that's what I think it's all about, honestly, in being an artist, because it's we're nobody here is doing it for the money, you know. Like I'll never get rich off this, and I don't, well, I don't think we'll ever get rich off of this, but it's just about getting to know people, see people, hear their stories, just and like learn something.
Yeah. And it's different, I think, when you're making art for money, whereas when you're doing it to do it for you,
Yeah,
I
I think so.
imagine.
I think if I had money on the line, oh, I wouldn't get, I would get so nervous. I'd be so bad at it. It's like when I used to fight for money versus like wrestling for like as an amateur, it was like the pressure kind of builds up,
Oh, because that
right?
value, the value
Yeah,
changes.
it's
Absolutely.
it's a different game, and I think the same thing would be said for art. Like I like my curious pieces for me, and I think that like I like to show them to my dear friends and our new dear listeners. And
Yeah.
like I think that like if something like money happened, I'd have to learn how to manage like my emotions with it.
Yeah. Or maybe some expectations.
Yeah.
Or
So
I
like
think of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I you had a really interesting question that like you we because we both share like the questions, the Q&As and stuff like that. And I was never super creative as a child, but I was wondering what made you creative as a kid and like what's different about it now.
I have always been creative. I have a
Yeah.
creative family.
Yeah.
I have like, the last time I spoke about creative child me, I was in my studio and I have art in my studio
Yeah.
of something that I made when I was younger. And I have, like, before I even learned how to spell my name,
Yeah.
I have art that I've made on my wall as well. And I like having that on my wall as a reminder of like, so I do it for them. Like,
Yeah.
I keep making art for the younger versions of me that loved
Okay.
making art because there was a chunk of my life where I didn't make art. And I see this in the young people I work with as well.
Yeah.
And I think it happens around 12. I'm sure there's some science to back that up, but once people become teenagers or close to that teenage age, they become so hyper aware that their peers can judge them.
Oh
And I
yeah.
see it all too often where they stop making art because they start to judge themselves. They realize like, oh, there's going to be better artists. For whatever reason, they stop
Yeah.
making art. And that was kind of me. I did take maybe one or two art classes in high school. And
Yeah.
once I went to university, I was too busy to make art.
Yeah.
And then it was actually a really bad breakup that got me into painting again. And a friend of mine like knew I was upset and invited me over. Her name's Laura Lee.
Yeah.
She's lovely. I love her.
Shout out
Um,
Laura.
yeah, shout out.
Hell yeah, Laura.
She invited me over and she was like, "Do you want to make some art about it?" And she might not have said it like that, but I made this painting. And it was my first
Yes.
time painting in so long. And I was like, I love this. And I think that was second year university.
Okay.
So that was 2010. And
Yeah.
basically, from second year university to the end of university, I painted every day. I
Nice.
loved painting. I I had to do it all the time. It was just something that brought me so much joy. And once I graduated university, I went to art school. And
Yes.
then day one of art school, I started hating my painting because I had a teacher who
Yeah.
told me I was painting wrong
Oh.
and that the way she actually said, your painting is too expressive. Do you
Oh.
know what that means? And at the time, I did not know what that meant, but I said yes because I was scared.
Can you tell me what that means? I don't know.
So
I have no clue.
essentially, this
Yeah.
teacher is very technical.
Yeah.
There was a painting of a banana that I had done,
Okay.
and it was good from my standards, but it wasn't like technically that very detailed. I
Yeah.
don't I bet I can find a picture of it. It
You
might be
find it, but you
somewhere on social
tell
media.
me about it now. But we
Yeah.
will find this. We will find the
Yeah.
nanner. Yeah.
Nene
Yeah.
Snanner.
Yeah.
And basically what she was trying to say is that it needed to be more technical. It needed to look more realistic, and mine
Yeah.
was more expressive. If you think of art on a continuum, on a spectrum,
Yeah.
hyper realistic, it essentially looks like a photo is on one end, and like totally expressive, expressive or Abstract? Yeah, abstract is the word I'm looking for, is on the other end of the spectrum. And
So,
mine was closer to, it looked like a banana, but it was more expressive and abstract. I don't know why
so,
I'm having such a hard time with that word today.
so abstract is that? So my buddy, he's the tattoo artist,
Yeah.
and he has a lot of pieces by Robert Stedman, I believe.
Oh, Ralph
So he,
Steadman?
Sorry, yeah, Ralph
Yeah, yeah,
Steadman,
yeah.
and so that's so what's that a form of?
That's
Is
more expressive.
Yeah, I fucking
Yeah.
love that style, dude.
Yeah.
Like
That's American expressionism from,
it's
I want to say the 60s. I could be wrong. Someone's gonna correct me on that, and I'll Google it later.
it's gnarly,
Yeah.
and I like it because it's like those paint splatters get your attention. You're like, okay, why am I looking at like a Mickey Mouse looking like he's on acid with some stains behind him? Like, what's going on in this picture? It's almost like
Yeah.
jarring. So
Yeah.
like if
And that's
you're yeah,
expression
okay,
or
all right,
expressive art.
yeah.
Yeah. And
So
that's
what?
more my style.
Yes, I like that. That's like
Yeah.
that for me. I'm like that is somebody who's out there just they're not just throwing paint at a wall. I mean, sometimes for sure
And not that
people
there's
are.
anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but like then there's like, I think when it's deliberately done, like in a way, like the way with Stedman for me, like that's that's the only. It's funny you're saying that. That's like my only artist I know for this week. But yeah, like that guy for me really captures a lot.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I like to do like sort of not comics, but
Yeah.
caricatures of people or slash comics, but like with little stories. But I was like, I don't want to ever copy a Stedman style, but I do like that.
You'll
And
have
like,
your own. It'll be called the
yeah,
Goodyear style.
the good, oh heck yeah, the bonnet if I get super fancy.
Ooh.
Trilingual.
Oh,
We're trilingual. We did
there we
it.
go. We did it.
Yeah.
But going back to that story of how my teacher told me I was too expressive, that's when my art critic was given a voice and
Oh,
spent most of my time in art school being very critical, very analytical of my art. And I don't want to say hating it because that seems strong, but I started not liking it. And I ended up low key dropping out of art school, but not really. It was more like a performance dropout than an actual dropout. And then I went to art therapy school, and art therapy school basically helped me unlearn all the critical voice that I had developed in art school. And again, going to art therapy school is probably the best thing I could have done for my art because I'm now starting to love my art again because it's
yeah.
way more focused on process, less about product, and more about kind of learning more about myself. And of course, as a therapist, learning about other people and helping them learn about themselves. So it has
Nice.
changed so much from, little me. I point over there to my wall. Maybe I'll share that picture as well online, to what I make now. And I like to put it in there because it's all part of the narrative. It's all
Yeah.
kind of jumbled in there.
You're saying like you got a negative voice or a critic, right?
Oh,
Your
yeah,
your artist
big
critic.
time.
It's so okay. I don't want to sound like we call this. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a. So I don't want to sound like rude, but I'm like for me, I don't have or like this is so good for me. I don't really have an artist critic for me because I don't feel like I'm that good. I'm just kind of happy with what shows up on the page right now.
Love that for you.
But like there's so many other areas in my life that I take serious that I'm very
Oh,
hypercritical about.
mm-hmm.
Am I gonna get an inner critic? I don't want an inner critic. I don't want that guy to show up. I don't want him to show up and be like, "You suck," you know? Like that's tough.
It's
Like that
not a
you got that.
guarantee.
Yeah, I don't want that. I'm gonna tell that guy to
Critic be
fuck.
gone.
Critic, honestly, I'm gonna say some harsh words in Harry Potter. Abracadabra, get out of
Is
here. That's the death curse.
okay. I
Yeah. And
okay.
that's the big one. I'll just be like, he shows up. I'll be like, get out of here. Like, what's the bad one? Voldemort. Hell yeah.
You're
I'm just
not
gonna.
supposed to say his
I
name.
can't say his name. Oh shoot. I'm a halfway Harry Potter fan. I'm not a full fledged, all right. But I know
It's
that one.
okay.
Abracadabra to my inner art critic, and you should say that too.
Okay. Or
Cause
whatever sort of ritual you need to kind of shoo it
yeah,
away.
just have fun with it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's one thing I've really admired about getting to know your art is just how into it you are. And I don't think it's because I have my critic shows up everywhere, not just art. Thank you, critic, for being
yeah,
so widespread in my life.
yeah,
Um, and I really admire that about your process is that you're just so into it and it's art for art's sake, which is
yeah.
great.
Yeah, I have a great tattoo about your inner critic,
Oh
and
yeah. Is
I
this an
think
idea or actual tattoo?
no, it's a real tattoo that I
Okay.
put down,
The,
and I'll share it later at some point when I think we were gonna do an episode on tattoos
yeah,
or
yeah.
something along the lines, and maybe get like an artist or two on, which would be cool if we could start interviewing people. If people have listened to this episode and you like us, contact us.
Yeah, we want
Uh,
to talk to you.
yeah, we want to talk to you. And yeah, so like I think I got this one piece done and I'll share it later, but it does help you let go of the mean spirited side of you.
Ooh, okay. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
yeah.
And it's interesting, right before you got on, you're like, yo, the creativity is flowing.
Yes.
What contributed to that? Is that
For
something you have control over, or is that just you ride the wave when it comes?
I think if it feels good, do it. Like
That is
j-
such a good rule of thumb.
yeah, if you're like this is feeling great, let's go. I've tried to force art and that's when it sucks. I feel like you're just like I should because I want to post for a certain time. There was a time when I was posting every day at 12 o'clock no matter what. And then I was just putting
That's
like
so
not
military of you.
yeah, I was like, you will perform. You will perform. And like it's like if a certain amount of people don't look at it, you have failed. And you're like, why? Why am I doing that? Like I should enjoy this. And taking my time and enjoying them, my pieces have definitely benefited.
Yeah,
That's what I've noticed is not taking it serious and basically being like, this is something that brings me joy.
right
You
on.
know?
And focusing on that like positive felt sense that you get out of art.
Yeah, I think that it's such a good it's a good road for healing. It's a good road for just being able to get that outlet if you got the time for it. And I know like some of you out there listening have definitely got like, schedules, family commitments as something. Like there's something pulling you in a different direction.
Jobs.
Yes, those JOBs, right?
JOBs.
Hey, spelt it right. Uh, but yeah, there's something getting in the way. But I mean, if you can manage to get that time to do something that you've made and you can look at it and be like, I feel good about this. That's pretty dope, you
Yeah.
know?
And you don't need a lot of time to make art. And that's one of my favorite things to tell the humans I work with is that like I'll give out post-it notes of like if you just want to doodle on this tiny little post-it note, that is better than absolutely nothing. Like whatever you do, just make art.
Yeah.
When in doubt, art it out.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I did a doodle when I was in Spain with my buddy. We were getting drunk, so I was writing on a napkin just to like start a conversation with some people in Spanish because my friend speaks Portuguese. I have very
Poco de
bad Spanish.
Espanol.
Un poquito, and that makes me feel like I'm a real Spaniard. So like I don't got a lot, but I like to practice. So like by me drawing some goofy stuff and showing some people while drinking, it started a conversation that basically just I don't think would have happened because like usually it's just loud foreigners we hate you, but you're like hey look at this little thing and then they're like oh interesting enough let's have a chat.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And art crosses language barriers.
it does.
Like people who speak different language can look at a piece of art and connect with it in some way, which is
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, I did some drawing of tools because I was trying to explain to people what I was doing when I was in Jordan, and like I can't write or speak Arabic at all, and so I was just like drawing hammers and nails and stuff, and I was like carpenter, and like they were like, oh,
Oh,
cool, and then like they were
yeah.
like, and like I was like this chair, like and doing the hand signals and just yeah, a couple doodles here and there to basically that I could open up my book and be like, this is what I do because
Yeah,
people were like,
cool.
"What? Why are you here? What are you doing?" Because you're definitely stick out here. So you're like trying to explain, like I'm on a vacation. I'm helping my friend navigate Jordan, and I'm also a little bit of an artist and a carpenter. So
Cool.
yeah.
Do you think you'll ever draw on something you carpent?
Oh, that would be cool. I've never thought of it. I might have to use a wood burning tool.
Whoa, have you ever tried that?
I have. It's unfortunately about as good as it is am at welding, and I'm a terrible welder. I
Okay.
get lost in the sauce. I don't know what it is. It's like the fumes of like burnt wood or something. It just distracts me, and I just can't get into it. But if I really, you know what? If I laid it out, I think I could do it.
Yeah.
I think I can do it. I got a whole wood shop. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Challenge accepted
let's
on your
go.
behalf.
Oh, did we challenge myself? If you can't challenge yourself to a fart, challenge yourself to a huge fart. Be careful, listeners. Don't do that. It could end in tragedy. But yeah, I've challenged myself to an art battle with myself.
Ooh, an inner fight club. I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
Art styles.
yeah.
Do you see yourself as a creative person?
I mean, yeah, kind of. I like to just sort of bend things and make things kind of work and fit into other spots. I don't know what
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
called, but
Yeah,
like,
that's like the definition of creativity, I think.
yeah, I that's the I like doing that. Yeah, like I sent you a picture of like a hammer that I
Yes.
recently made.
How do you make a hammer? Do you take the head of the
Ooh.
hammer and put it on the piece of wood?
So yeah, so what had happened was we somebody had broken a hammer in our shop, and so we just had the head, and we have like a whole wood bin, and there's scrap wood and stuff like that. So I took this, like they were just throwing the hammer into the metal bin, and I just was like, I saw this beautiful piece of African lacewood that like you can't use for like the pieces of the things that we're making in our shop, but I was like,
Why
that's
not?
big enough to be like just for like the pieces, like the sizes and the dimensions. That's pretty
Okay,
much
cool.
why. So like it felt like it was a little bit of a waste to me because I was like, this is a beautiful piece of African lacewood. It's super rare in North America, not in West Africa because it grows like crazy over there. But it's like here, it took so much time to get here, and it kind of sucks that like we'd taken like just this little shrimp, like this little piece, and I was like, there's something that can be done with this. So I'm fortunate enough to not be allergic to African lacewood, but a lot of people are. So like I took
Whoa.
the risk to like I was like, I'll pick it up, I'll use it without my hands, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm cool. I don't get rashes. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make this thing into my own hammer, and then other people in our shop can't use it because they're allergic. So it's kind of like my own personalized tool that I love.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It
So
like
like,
it's like a phone that requires a Face ID.
yeah, exactly. But it's my own low key hammer,
Why
you
are
know.
people allergic to it? Allergic to wood? I am like,
Yo, it's a different type of wood. West Africa's a crazy place.
it's got
Things,
such a cool texture too. I honestly thought that was painted, but that's just wood.
no, that's just the way it is. It shows up like a
Whoa.
gray. So it's like a woody gray, and like that one is lucky enough to have a deformity. So like if you notice on the inside, it's got like white
The
to it. It's
inside? What do you mean the inside? How do I look
so
at the inside of a hammer?
sorry. The inner part of the hammer, there's like a white strip almost. It's super rare. You never see it. And I was just like, we're gonna get rid
Okay.
of this. What people would say, quote unquote, the ugly side of like this wood would be. I was like, this is great. I like this piece because it's got a little bit of its own defined character.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
cool.
I often use it like, well, I mean, it's mine until the day it blows up, and then I'll make
Yeah.
another one.
Cool. Okay. Homemade
Yeah,
hammer
exactly.
with wood that people and you used it to make this picnic bench that looks like a solid picnic bench, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. The best thing about like just learning how to do anything, YouTube. There's like so many people out there that are just making great stuff.
The internet has
What?
information.
It's not just for documentaries of I don't know how if we're gonna go blue, but it's just
Documentaries.
documentaries. It's not just for
Historical documentaries of the
yes.
farm variety. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got
farm.
more than that. I
It
recently learned that as well. The
it
internet
has
is full of stuff.
it's chocked up with so much stuff. It had all
Yeah.
the dimensions. I was like, yeah, like a picnic table for 6 people. What are the dimensions I need? And it's just there. And you can go to your thing and make it yourself, and then you're gonna be stoked on that.
And then
Like
you can sit on it and be like, I made this.
exactly. You're like you'd be at a barbecue or something and you have some people over, they could just sit on it. They don't care. But in your mind, you're gonna be like,
My
what do I bring
hands
to the
built that. Yeah.
yeah, what do I bring to the table? I am the fucking table.
Oh.
Oh, I built this table.
Is
You know?
did you sand it and finish it? It looks pretty like
No, it's pretty raw. It's still
raw.
raw.
Yeah.
I still got to put on some lacquers and some stuff that helps it not rot outside. But luckily, my
Yeah.
neighbor Bob is a
Shout out to
he's a
Bob.
hell yeah, Bob. Bob and Deb, my favorite. They're so nice. They're such sweet people. They so Bob is like a carpenter as well, and he just
Ooh.
kind of yeah, so he's been kind of showing me the ropes. So like it's just everywhere for me.
Don't you also have another neighbor who makes t-shirts?
That's his son. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
I'm just in, yeah,
You're
so
just
I'm kind of,
learning from your community. I love that.
yeah, the community is big and they're everybody around here freaking rocks. Shout out to Dartmouth.
Right on,
Yeah.
Dartmouth.
Yeah, yeah.
Question.
Yes.
If we were to time travel back to be the versions of ourselves
Yep.
when we first met each other, and I asked you if you were a creative person, what do you think that version of you
Oh,
would have said?
create these biceps.
Yeah, okay, I can see you saying
That
that.
probably would have just been it. Yeah. It's
Okay,
like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That pretty much would have summed up me. And
Wow.
so we're, hmm, let me think. The girl with the multicolored hair, paint covered clothes, mismatched shoes and socks. Were you creative? The fits were,
Probably, yeah. Well, I
yeah.
just graduated art therapy school
Oh,
too,
you
so
were at the
yeah.
height of it, or did it feel like an
Height, it
escape?
felt like a low.
It was an escape. Art school was an escape for you. Like when you were done, you're like, I'm just
No,
say
because
finito.
yeah, I did the art therapy thing in Vancouver and then
Yes.
moved back to Ottawa, assuming I could just get a job in my field right away because that's what
Okay.
happens after you graduate, white,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I think so. That's
And
what's
that's
supposed to happen.
not what happened.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing the space parachute thing and meeting you.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay, cool. What a wild journey that. I think we both escaped from places and then ended up in yeah. Yeah,
Making
ended up
space
there
parachutes.
making
Yeah.
space parachutes. That
Yeah.
was a yeah,
An
that was
interesting place to land. Parachute joke.
yes, and interesting people and beloved
Mm.
friends of the company.
Yeah.
I no, we have to try and have one of them on. And
Yes, that's
yeah,
true.
like seriously, those guys were so sweet, and I feel like one of our people we need to get on before he's
Yeah.
older. He's an older gentleman, but
Yeah.
his life is
He's a
so
solid
storied.
dude. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Yeah.
man. He tried to explain what magnets were to me. I still don't know to this day, but I
I
kind of
need
wish I did.
yeah. I remember one day I told him his parachute worked like crap.
Whoa.
And because we were
Harsh, dude.
but we were just I don't think anyone's used to talking to Dave like that. And Dave was like, "You're right," and I was like, "It
Friend of the
didn't work good,"
company.
because I think like yeah, beloved friend of company. So like he basically was like. I mean, I feel like people were kind of afraid to mince words and stuff, and I was just like, that didn't go well. And then we were like, and then we went to the roof of the building, and we just spent the day like, I can't remember what was happening, but I just was like going up and down a ladder picking up parachutes that he was throwing off the side of a building. And it was a great bonding experience. I loved Dave for that.
Right on.
Yeah.
That
Oh
sounds like a
God.
wholesome
Beloved
moment.
friend of company. Censor his name.
It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
it's all
Okay.
good.
Emily, keep that
We're
name
giving
down.
you work to do. We're so
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
So back to our questions.
Yeah.
What myths or rules about creativity do you want to break, if
Oh,
any?
myths or rules. I feel like something that you have to have a certain set of tools or have gone to a certain place or
Oh,
be
yeah.
with a certain people. Like
That
I
conditions need to be specific in order to make something.
yeah, I've met
Yeah.
one or two guys who are artists through the army and they were brilliant. And they're surrounded by complete gorilla meatheads. And I love my guys. I love my meatheads. But like for them to just sort of like thrive and be different and be accepted by these guys, by the way, for their creativity and just bringing something so awesome. Like it might be a caricature or a comic or something like that. But yeah, you can do it anywhere, and there's nothing that's going to stop you. I think the only person that's going to stop you is you.
Yeah. And your inner critic or the
Yeah,
parts of you. Yeah.
abracadabra, that guy.
I have a feeling
Yeah,
that's not what the spell is, but I'm not going to correct you on it because I'm also
Wingardium
not a
Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. I don't know if that's the right one either.
Leviosa. That
Oh,
makes things fly.
oh shoot. See, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll figure
It's all
it out.
good. It's all
Yeah.
good. We have our own magic that isn't based in Latin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Can I ask another question?
heck yeah.
I agree with you basically on what you said that like
Yeah.
there's try to remove as many barriers to make art. Like make bad art if that's what you need to do.
I heard
And
about a
that's
dude who, oh, sorry.
ooh, no, go ahead. Tell me
I
about
heard
this
about this
dude.
one dude who, so he was like a professor at an art school, and my friend who I was just drawing with recently. he was telling me about this guy, and he was like, it's the magic chocolate bar. And we were like, what? And so he started drawing basically like a woman in a dress with a Hershey's chocolate bar. And so like that means that he was drawing and with less material every time he took a stroke. So he's
Oh,
making
he was
something
drawing with a chocolate bar.
with a chocolate
Like
bar.
it
Yeah.
was melting. Okay, understood.
Yeah, yeah. So every time you go to scrape it, you have less of it. But he was able to,
Mm.
within a certain amount of strokes and with a material that you would not think like to make art with, he was making something. So might just be you guys. Like you could use a rock, you can use paint, you can use anything to etch or whatever. Like if it's
Yeah.
yeah, so there's something.
And even just like we were talking about photography earlier, like with so many people having access to a phone in their pocket or a camera in their pocket,
Yeah,
you can go take pictures. Like
absolutely.
I think there's a lot less physical barriers to making art now.
Yeah.
And I think maybe a lot more psychological ones.
I yeah, that's the guy you got to stop. It's you. It's not. It's basically you can really try your best, and there might be some way you just do something beautiful with not very much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
touche.
yeah,
And I might know the answer to this question because it's
yeah.
kind of about perfectionism. And you've mentioned in the past of just how you end up rolling with it. But do you notice a tendency to have some perfectionism in your art
With
process?
with art, not really. I
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing of just being okay with like if you can kind of tell that it's an ear or it's an eyebrow or like this is a furrowed brow or what ethnicity this person I'm drawing is or like their gender. Like you can if you can get that median out of it and basically be like this is what if I can show that much with it, I'm pretty happy, as long as I just don't make a giant blob and people are like and I'm like, no, that's my boy Doug.
Yeah.
Like,
Doug. Doug comes
yeah,
up a lot.
yeah. Doug is a generic name. I don't actually know a Doug. I don't think I do.
Oh, that piece
Oh
that
wait,
you
I
made
do.
about Doug. Yeah.
I
And
do
you
know a
spelt
Doug.
it D-U-G.
Yeah, I got a Doug. I do have a Doug. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Yeah.
got Doug. Yep.
Right
So,
on.
yeah.
Do you
But,
think that conditions have to be a certain way in order to make art?
I mean, like I don't know. I think it's just what conditions are best for you.
For me,
Yeah.
I was thinking about this as I was biking home because we're in wildfire season and it is so smoky in Ottawa and it smells like campfire and it just makes me really sad. And on my
Yeah.
bike over, I was like writing poems in my head about just the state of the world. And I find, and I almost don't like this about myself, but I am so inspired to make art when I'm sad or when my feelings are really big. Again, because I have a hard time processing feelings as a highly sensitive person. I need to
Yeah.
like make art about it in order to kind of titrate it and make it feel better or like feel less intense. And a
Yeah.
lot of times when I'm feeling really inspired is because I have a really strong emotion that I either can't handle or need to be able to handle or both. Um, and sometimes it's just like, oh, I'm going to make art because I feel like making art. But like, I find that some of my favorite pieces are from trying to handle
That.
strong emotions.
Nice. I feel like that's just a way like you said, it's a good way for you to sort of process that. Would
Hmm.
you say like that style's evolved like since
Um,
you were young, or has it always just been like you had to express it when you were younger, or it was like a learned habit?
I think I almost had to because I was never really someone who was confident expressing themselves with words. Even now, like
Yeah.
talking and using words to express feelings is not my forte, despite the fact that I am a therapist and constantly talk about feelings with other people. It's still like I'll have a better idea if we
Yeah.
make art about it.
I think your inner critic might be loud because I'm hearing somebody who can really communicate well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You're
like
wrong, but thank you.
there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's definitely coming it's coming around full circle, and it's cool doing these podcasts because we're probably getting stronger. Maybe we're getting a false sense of confidence, which might be bad.
Whatever it is, it works.
It's working for us. I feel like I like the fact that you're working at a knack that you're like, okay, I'm not strong here, but if you keep hacking at it, you'll get strong. You'll
Yeah.
get good at it.
And I
And
was going to say something to that too. And sorry, I cut you off.
oh, no
Sorry,
problem, no
not
problem.
sorry, because I'm going to keep talking.
Hit it
Is
up.
that working on this with you has been really good because you have that confidence of like, yeah, let's keep going. I'm gonna, tell people about this. I'm gonna want to
Yeah.
share this. And I'm like, maybe like in 20 episodes, I might show like one person. If they're, not going to listen to it, I'll show them and
Yeah.
maybe they'll never listen to it and that's fine. But you're like, no, everyone needs to hear this. Like, and I was like, okay, whatever you say, buddy. And
Yeah.
it's rubbing off on me a
There we
little
go.
bit, maybe.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
you're like, hey, come look at my garbage. And and then eventually, like, it's gonna be good. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great. Like, my first Post Malone picture that I sent to Zoe was like, she was like, oh man. Like she was like, I don't know if you watched Family Guy, but she's like, it's like Muhammad Ali drew this. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's a bad one. Like my hands, like I was like, because I do naturally have shaky hands. Like it's something that's come into my life like in the last couple of years, but I have a little bit of a tremor and it kind of adds to the shake, but it's getting the more I draw, the less the shake is there. But
Ooh,
now
I was going to ask about that.
I've started using the shake a little bit to my own advantage for when I want to shade and use dots and stuff like that.
Cool.
That wasn't something like that was something that I was ashamed of and embarrassed of even writing my own name. That's
Mm.
something I put down in one of my pieces. Was about a kid being teased, not being able to write his own name correct.
Ah, yes, that
And
was
so
episode 3, maybe? I don't
maybe
know.
episode
Maybe.
three.
I don't know. It's
E-
fine.
Either way. So now like I found my penmanship has gotten better because I do like so much drawing that like now I've even started to stylize some writing,
Ooh,
and as long as
okay.
there's not somebody over my shoulder waiting for me to hurry up and write something down, I feel like it almost looks cool, but it's not a
Whoa.
lot of writing. Like it's not like writing pages because I've never written pages of anything. I'm very dyslexic. So, but if it's like one or two cool words or slogos or like sayings or anything, I'm starting to kind of get the knack and build up my own confidence to maybe write my own logo,
Oh,
like
love
and not have
that.
somebody else do it, but actually put my own logo on something.
Cool.
So yeah, one of these days.
Very cool. Very on brand of art can heal.
Yeah,
And I love that for us.
yeah. It's a nice feeling to have,
Right
you
on.
know.
Any other questions? I feel like we might have covered them all. Any last remarks, takeaways?
I'm so excited for. Can we say the name of the episode?
No, no, no.
No, no.
Oh, no, no, no. Because
Or
if
do
we say
we?
the name, they'll know who
They'll
it
know
is.
who it
Next
is.
episode, we're interviewing someone and we're so excited about it.
They are an artist, and they are an artist of a different medium than what we have. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's what we're saying. So don't worry. We're gonna pretty much try and always bring up an artist or somebody who creates something or somebody that we just find or draw inspiration with any
Or
of our
some other
guests.
theme that we have planned. Because I have some other themes that I want to talk about that
Or if
came
we
up today that I really want. Anyways, we can talk
yeah,
about that later. But
or
oh
if
my
we
God,
really
yeah.
love them, we can really just love the crap out of them, and they'll just be stoked to talk to us. That,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
be little fan people.
we got it. To
Right
our
on.
fan, which is my mom,
What's your mom's name? I feel like we
Nancy.
should. Nancy. Hey,
Yeah,
Nancy.
shout out to the Nance Meister.
Love that.
I mean, if it sticks, it sticks. Like we gotta try and brand something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love that.
Nance Monster. All right.
Also, with next week, we're starting this other new thing
Yeah.
in addition. Anyways, next week's going to be fun. It's going to be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
We're excited to see you.
Yeah.
We're not going
Here.
to see you. We're
Talk.
not stalkers.
We're
We're
gonna talk.
excited for you to listen to us. I don't know. What are we
We're
supposed to say to that?
we're gonna talk at you ad
Yeah.
nauseum and hope you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, no forehead kisses for you and a stone cold stunner.
So the kisses are conditional, is what you're
They
saying.
are conditioned. You have to love our sods, or you get stone cold stunnered.
I don't know
That's
what that means.
You don't know Stone Cold Steve Austin? I'm gonna have to tell you all about Stone Cold Steve Austin off air.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
now I have something to look forward to. Thanks for listening, everyone. Linnea signing off. Peace
Goodbye.
out. See you next
Bye.
time.
Hasta la vista.
Bye. Yeah, I struggled to remember another language there.